So, good morning to everyone present here. My name is Aditya Naik. I'm currently pursuing engineering in computer science from Sri Madhva Raja Institute of Technology. I'm from batch 2025 to 2029. Today, we'll be presenting an assignment on Django, which is a powerful framework built on Python for web development. So, this is this week's talk. There is Django for beginners, organized by Gyanbit. So, welcome to this session. I am Aditya Naik. Today is 21st September. This is a rehearsal video for tomorrow. Table of contents, as in what we will be learning in this session. So we have introduction, objective, Django workflow, demo, and the conclusion. In introduction, we'll be learning brief about Django, its purpose, and project overview. In objective, we learn the goal of building the project and expected outcomes. In Django workflow, we learn about form, view, and template. Under demo, we show the project output, results, and final summary, and then comes the conclusion. Moving forward, primarily, what is Django? Django is a high-level Python web framework which allows rapid development with clean and practical design. It follows the MVT, that is model, view, template, architectural pattern. Basically, M, that is model, handles the database, view handles the backend logic, and T, that is template, handles the user interface. In our simple assignment, we will be using view and template. We have some interesting facts as well. It was developed in 2003 by Adrian and Simon. It was released as open source in 2005. It was named after a jazz guitarist, Django. It is used in top companies like Instagram, Pinterest, Mozilla, and Disqus. It remains popular Python frameworks worldwide. Let's move to objective. That is, we have to demonstrate the use of Django framework for building a simple web application. In our application, a user has to enter the name, principal amount, time, rate of interest. We use the simple formula, that is P into T into R by 100, which gives the simple interest. We will calculate simple interest, total amount, maturity date using date time module from Python. We aim to understand how Django handles form input, data processing, and dynamic output generation in the web application. So let's begin with the workflow. For practice, please check out documentation. We follow the procedure. Let's start with command 1.1. One second, please. Yeah, we start with command 1.1, that is Django admin start project Django 1. What this basically does is creates a new Django project named Django 1. As we see here, it has already built all the setup files automatically. Okay, so now let's use the change directory to move inside the folder Django 1. We are in, as we see, we are in. Uh, Now we create an application using command Django admin start app1. As we see, app1 has been created. What this does is it creates a new app inside this project. In our case, it's Django 1. Each app handles a specific feature like login payments, etc. Okay, okay, fine. Let's start with command 3, that is in settings.py. Let me just close the terminal and the Explorer. As we see, we have installed apps here. We have to register our app. We do this by saying app1, comma. Okay. In installed apps, we have registered our app called as app1. Then in urls.py as well, we got to do it. But let's follow what the documentation says, our procedure says. Next, it says we have to create a folder named templates inside app1. So let's do it. We create a new folder called as templates because this is where all the HTML files live in our project. That is Django 1. Then we have to create another folder called as app1 because Django will look for an app specific HTML inside the folder, which should be the same app name. In our case, it's app1, so we will name this folder as app1 as well. In app1, we have to create a HTML file. Let's name this as HTML. Sorry, index.html. Yep, we have the basic boilerplate as well. For now, let's name this as bank form. Fine. Mm, yeah. Now we have successfully done command 4. Let's go to command 5. That is from Django.urls import path and include. Okay, so we go to urls.py. Let's go to Explorer for now. In from Django.urls import path, we have to add include. We have included. Yeah. This basically what it does is it import tools to create and manage the website routes. Next, command 6. It says path app1 include. Yeah, we have to include the path. Let's say app1 and include app1.urls. Okay, we have included app1.urls. Now next, um, command 7 says in views.py we have to create a home. Let's go to views.py. Let's create a home function here. Def home request. What this basically does is it defines a page called as home, and to show the hello world text, we have to return render. Return render. First comes our request, then comes the path, in our case app1.index.html, and then comes our parameter param1. Let's say for now hello text, sorry, hello world will be our text. World. Yeah, fine. This is done. Yes. Yeah. Next, it says URL. Okay, fine. So for that, we have to create a new file called as urls.py. In urls.py from Django, the home function which we created earlier, we have to import that as well. Okay, now URL patterns, that is a path to home. Okay, so we have basically connected the site's root to the home page. So a basic structure has been created. Let's just once verify. Firstly, what we did was in settings.py, we added our app1 under installed apps. That is done, yes. In urls.py, we have include as well as the path for app1 and included app1.urls. That's also done. Next is uh, in views.py, we have to create a home function which we have. Yep, that's also done. urls.py has been created, and templates and app1 and index.html has also been created. Yes. Yeah. We did create the index.html, but we haven't added the hello world here. So let's just do that. Param1 and close the p tag. Just now the basic structure is ready. Let's just run the server according to command 9, which says python manage.py run server. This command starts a local Django server. The website opens HTTP 127.0.0.1 8000 Open the terminal and write python manage.py run server. Yep, it takes a while sometimes. As we see, the same link is here. Let's just open it. Yep. And in this, we have to open app one. Okay. This is a small mistake. Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Let's just check where is the mistake. Hmm, maybe. App one didn't meet. Okay, fine. Let's just check urls.py. App one, yeah. Small mistake. Really small mistake it was. Yeah. So as we see, we have the hello world here. Hello world is here. Yeah. Yes. Fine. So this is done. The setup, the step one is our setup is done. Let's move to step two. That is value test. Opening views.py. In views.py, we will have to hard code the values for now. As I said earlier, we'll be doing a simple assignment to calculate simple interest. So for simple interest, we need principal amount. That is, let's say 1000 principal amount. PTR, that is time. Let's say 5 years time, and R, that is rate of interest. Sorry, or rate of interest. Let's say 10% of interest. For those of you who don't know, the green thing which you're seeing are comments, which basically don't impact the code but are useful for the developers to, or for anyone who's seeing the code to help understand what's going on. Okay, so the formula for simple interest is P into T into R, P into T into R divided by 100. Brackets are used so that the multiplication happens first rather than R getting divided by 100 and all that. Okay, now when a person deposits his money, he gets back his money with the simple interest. So let's say total plus P plus simple interest. That is principal amount plus simple interest. Okay. Yes. Let's just close the Explorer. It's really, yep. Simple interest P into T to R by 100. Total P principal amount plus simple interest. Yes. Now what we're going to do is, for a little bit of ease of understanding, we're going to be creating this, and let's create parameter param 2, that is P. We'll create a param 3, that is parameter 3. Let's say time T. Also for a simple interest, and a last parameter for uh, total amount. Okay, so this much is done. Now once this is done, let's just save it and go back to our index.html. I have a basic template ready. This is why I named the title as bank form. We are going to be acting as a bank here. So dear customer, you will get amount. Now here we'll add the param 6, that is our total amount. After years, PTR, I think it was param 3. Okay, for 1 second, I'll just use the full window. And for ease, I'm going to split the two windows so that I can compare them side by side. Okay, yeah. So time is param 3, is correct. At rate of interest. Here we'll put the PTR, that is param 4. Parameter 4, that is our rate of interest. For your principal amount, that is P, that is I think param 2. Param 2. Okay. We will calculate the maturity date and today's date later on as we go, but I think we have covered most of it. Param 6, that is our total. Param 3, that is time. param 4 rate of interest, and param 2 that is simple interest. What I'm going to do is instead of customer, let me just replace it with param 1 and I'll keep it Aditya for now. That is my own name. Aditya Naik. String Aditya Naik. Yeah. Okay. Maturity date. Okay. Investment will be calculated later on. Since let's also add simple interest as well. Interest received. Okay. We give it as interest received will be param simple interest parameter param 5. We'll calculate maturity date and today's date later on. Okay, let's just speed it up a bit. Thank you. Yeah. So now if we go to our bank form and refresh, yes, we have dear Aditya Nayak, you will get 1,500. One second, I'll just write as rupees. Yeah, refresh. Yes, rupees 1,500 amount after 5 years. That is our time. 10% rate of interest. That is our rate of interest. And reserve principal amount that is rupees 1,000. Interest also is mentioned. That is 500, which is our simple interest. Let me just add rupees here as well. Yep, we are good to go. Regards Aditya Bank. Yeah, that's fine. That means we are going correctly. Let's get back to yeah, views.py. This is done in index.html as well. We have made the necessary changes. So basically, views.py, as discussed earlier, does the logic thing. In our case, it's the calculation. And front end, that is index.html, will show a result, which it did. Let's just now the question is for the audience. That let's say today is 21st September. What is the best way to calculate the date exactly after 5 years? Let's think about it for a moment. Most of you will be thinking we will add 5 years to the year, and that is actually correct. That's what we're going to be doing in our next step, that is date prediction. For date and time, we will do this code which we see import date time as the dt. Let me just open up my idle. We will do it separately. We can do it directly, but we will do it separately so we understand each part of the code. Yep. Okay. Let me just open. Sorry, I'll just open up a new file. Let me just save it once. I'll save it in Python. That is 29.py. Just bear with me for a moment, please. Yeah. So let's import date time as dt. Date time is a Python module which brings you the date and the time. Let's say today is equal to dt. Dt is for short. Uh, yeah, short form for date and time. Dt is a short form for date and time. Date time dot now. Let's just print today once. Let's see what happens. F5. Yeah, so it has basically printed 21st September and it has also printed the time, that is 6:49. It's showing in 24 hours format. Okay, so let's print date one. Let's say it's date one, the date after 5 years or whatever the time. Today plus dt dot time delta days is equal to 365 into, we want 5 years now, so let's say 5 years. Okay, we'll save it and run it. Oh, so 1 second, sorry. I made a small mistake. I haven't printed date one. Yeah, yep. Yes, so as we see, it's 20 September 2030. That is, it has calculated for 5 years from now. Okay, it's working well. That means it's going correct. So now what we'll do is we'll just copy this and we will go to our views.py and paste it. Or else what I'll do is I'll create another function for better understanding. Def calc date. Mm, yeah, bear with me for a moment, please. Yep, we will return today as well as one second. Today as well as date one. Okay, we have returned today and date one parameter today and date one. Okay, now in this we are taking t in our code is time. So instead of 5 years, I have to replace it with t because basically it will be the same thing, right? If you see t is 5, here it will be replaced with 5. Or if we change it to 3 as well, it will also automatically be replaced with 3. Let's just have a look at our, okay, no, yeah, date prediction. Okay, let's just then to take out the date and today, we will list, let's say list 1 is equal to, let's create an empty list 1. List 1 of the 0th element will be uh, calc date t, or let's do it comma 1, and let's hope it returns. Mm, yeah, let's create another this one as today is equal to list 1 of 0. I think it'll automatically take in, let's say, if it works. And date 1, that is our date after 5 or let's say t years, will be list 1 of the first element, that is date 1. Let's return it as well. Param 7, date 1, and param 8, that is our today. Okay, yeah, let's proceed to our index.html as well. In this, today's date is param 8, and maturity in this maturity date will be param 7. Let's see. Okay, I have closed the server. Let's run the server again using the same command, that is python manage.py run server. Once again, let me just go to cd Django 1. Hmm. Going inside the project is this side. Opening app 1. Yes. So yeah, it's working correct. It's working correctly. Yes. So yeah. So as I had set the time as 3 years, it is showing 2028, which is 3 years exactly after 2025. So it's working correctly. We are going correctly. Okay, fine. So let's move forward. Now, as we see, values are hard coded. Now we will include the forms.py, which is like, we can show a form for the user to fill in the values instead of just hard coding it ourselves. Okay, fine. Let's go as per the procedure. Form 4, that is forms.py. Yes. So, yeah. In app 1, let's create a new file, that is forms.py. In forms.py, we first, from Django, we import forms class, let's say input forms dot form. We take in our name, forms.char field. Let's set a max length for it, 20, and a label. I'm going to be explaining what each part of the code does in a while, please. Please, let me just collapse the Explorer for now. And let me just go for full screen mode for now. Enter your name. Now we take in the PTR values. P is equal to forms dot integer field. Let's say minimum value. Anyone, let's assume 1,000 rupees. Maximum value, let's say 10,000 or 1 lakh rupees. Let's go 10,000 now. And label, that is, please enter principal amount. T is equal to forms dot integer field. That is our time. Let's say minimum value is 1 year. Max value, sorry, max value is for now 10 years. Label will be please enter time in years. Rate of interest. Forms dot. Now, principal amount and time can be in integer field. A rate usually we see as 5 point something, 6 point something. So we will go with, rather than integer field, we will go with float field. Let's say minimum value, we'll say if the minimum value, let's say 2%, and maximum value, let's say 15.0%. Label, please enter the rate of interest. Hmm. Okay, so we have created forms.py now. Now, let me just explain it. Yeah. So when we import forms from Django, we usually create web forms that let users enter the data on the website. Here, our class is input form, which is like a blueprint that defines all the fields in the form. Now, here we have taken different fields. There is name, principal amount, time, and rate of interest. This setup makes it easier for collect and validate user input. Okay. So here, as we see label is what we will see in the forms. I'll show you shortly in the local server. Let's follow our procedure. In index.html, we have to create, yep, yes. Let's create a form here. Form, we'll close the form. Yeah. Method will be, our form method will be post CSRF token. Form as P. P signifies paragraph. We need to create a button. Yeah, button. Let's say calculate. Button, we have to give a type as well. Button type will be submit. Okay, submit. Button type will be submit. Form has been created. Save it. Next procedure. So form method is basically, it sends the user input to server when they click submit, the submit button which you have done here. There's calculate. CSRF token is a security feature to prevent unauthorized submissions. Forms.py will generate all input forms as a paragraph. Next, let's move forward. It says make changes in views.py. Let's go to views.py. Now, views.py is where main logic happens, but we have to be very, very careful here. Okay, let's create if request dot method. Its method is post. What happens if it's post? Form1 is equal to our input form request dot post. I think we have to first take in the from app, app one dot forms. We have to import our input form as well. Yep, it's working fine. Input form, and then we have to get the values as well. Okay. Mm, okay. Data is equal to form one dot cleaned data. Let's take in the values. P is equal to data dot get P. Similarly, T is equal to data dot get T. R is equal to data dot get or R, and name is equal to data dot get our character field name. Since this is done, most of our hard coded values can be removed now. And Python is very strict about its indentation, so we have to take care of that as well. Just give me a moment. Yep. Mm, yeah. Return render. Everything is correct. Let's just replace param1 with name. Okay. Everything else looks fine. Return render is also fine. Then we have to create an else. Okay. Else is for this one. One moment, please. I think I have made a small error. Else mm, form one. I have made a small error. Form one is equal to input form. You have to return render request app1 slash index.html form one form form one form one. Mhm. This is tiny. Okay, fine. We have a small error. Yeah, yeah, there is a small error. Uh, Here, there's a small mistake. Let me once just have a look as to where I've gone wrong. I'll just open source documentation, FDP2. Yes, if form one is valid, that is the mistake. We were going good till here, and here we made a small error. That is, if form 1 is, if form 1 is valid. Yep, this was the error. Once this is solved, everything else is good. One second, please. Yeah, let me just move all the params to bring uniformity. Else is for this one. Yep. Now our code is fine. I'll just change the PPT as well. I forgot to include the, I think I have missed the if form 1 is valid thing. Yep. Thanks to source documentation. We have noticed an error in the PPT as well as, yeah. So let's just run the server now. Thank you, sir. Yep, finally. So let's just test it. Aditya, principal amount, I'll say 1000. Let's say 5 years, 10%. And let's calculate. And dear Aditya, you'll get 1500 after 5 years, 10% interest. Oh, 1 second. Yep, I entered 1000. Yeah, let me just change it to 5000 and let's see. Calculate. You'll get 7500 rupees. Principal amount 1000, oh, sorry, 5000 rupees. This one will be 10% interest. 500, 500. Yeah, for 5 years, correct. 2500 rupees will be added. So that's correct. So thankfully, our code is working fine. Yes, the code is working fine. Everything else seems good. Yep. So, yep, coming back to the, did we get the desired output? Yes, we did the debugging and the testing. Repeat and review if the steps were necessary. Well, we noticed an error in my PPT as well. I'm really sorry about it. I'll just correct it after this recording. And for practice documentation, yep, we got the conclusion, we got the project summary. We created a Django web app to calculate simple interest. We implemented user input for PTR and name. We did the calculation of simple interest and total amount. We displayed results dynamically on the web page. Key learning was learned how to use Django forms, views, templates, and URL routing. Yep. So this was my section on Django for beginners. I sincerely thank Code Troopers for providing this opportunity to present Django for beginners at Gambit. I thank Rolling Sister and Sumit Brother for their support. Most importantly, I express my heartfelt gratitude to Chandrasekhar Rao sir for his blessings, guidance, and constant support. And obviously, a big thank you to audience for your time and attention. Thank you. For making of my PPT, I referred Sir's FTP2 documentation, which you can refer as well by just clicking on this, and you'll get Sir's FTP2 Python Django documentation. I will correct my mistake. I accept my mistake in the PPT and will correct it as soon as this recording is done. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please free to ping me. To conclude, Django is one of the most popular web frameworks today. It is secure, fast, comes with powerful features out of the box. Overall, Django is an excellent choice for developing modern web applications. So thank you very much and see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.